Warning, the following footage contains distressing scenes. But before I show that clip, this is the moment paramedics in southern Lebanon were caught in a deadly missile strike in an incident that has intensified concerns over the safety of medical workers in the conflict zone. The attack reportedly hit an ambulance crew responding in southern Lebanon, with local reports saying multiple paramedics were killed. According to health officials, at least 20 paramedics have died since the ceasefire agreement last month, bringing the overall number of healthcare workers killed during the conflict to more than 120 people. Israel has faced accusations of deliberately targeting ambulances and healthcare personnel, allegations it strongly denies. Israeli officials instead blame Hezbollah of operating within or near civilian medical infrastructure. As tension continues to rise, incidents like this are adding to growing international concern over the humanitarian cost of the conflict and the protection of emergency responders working on the front lines.
Our special correspondent Alex Crawford reports from southern Lebanon, and a warning that it does show footage of a fatal missile attack on an ambulance.
These are now a daily ritual in Lebanon, a funeral cortege winding through streets battered by Israeli bombs which haven't stopped falling despite a ceasefire deal. Those being mourned are increasingly medics, killed as they help those caught up in the attacks. The Lebanese government says they're being deliberately targeted. They call them double taps, and this one was caught on camera. The video we're going to show you is shocking and begins after the medics arrive at the first attack. They're in neon jackets calling the second ambulance in after a father and his young daughter have been hit. As the crew arrives, there's another bomb.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
When slowed down, you can see the bomb hitting the front of the ambulance. The moment of impact is captured by a second camera inside the arriving ambulance. The two-man crew rushing to help their colleagues and those injured on the road somehow escaped with their lives. But now they too are wounded. All three of their colleagues outside on the street were killed, as well as the father, his young child, and a civilian who'd stopped to help. The attacks are devastating the southern communities. Hamza's only 8 and proudly wearing the emergency jacket which led to his father's killing. Another son left without his father. It's been a particularly deadly few days for first responders and health workers in Lebanon. Among the three was a photojournalist as well as volunteer medic. His little girl unaware this was the final goodbye to the father killed doing two of the most dangerous jobs in Lebanon right now. The grief here is raw and unfiltered. They've had back-to-back funerals for days, and many are convinced the civil defence uniforms they now grip for comfort marked out their loved ones for attack. We asked the Israeli military why these first responders were attacked, but they offered no credible explanation. The Israeli military told us they hit 2 Hezbollah motorbikes, one after the other, but didn't explain why the video of the attack seemed to contradict this. The military said they were examining the claims of uninvolved individuals being harmed. The anguish is deep, often inconsolable, but the resolve amongst this band of brothers runs far deeper.
We lost my best friend, we are like brothers together all the time together, 18 days together every day, every hour. We lost him, but we will say to him, we will continue, inshallah.
To many here, the war has never stopped. The country's future is now tied to an Iran-US-Israel deal. It's an absolute insistence by negotiators in Tehran who support the armed group Hezbollah, which is firing rockets into northern Israel. But historic talks between the Lebanese government and Israel have failed to bring any respite from the killings, and a ceasefire agreed mid-April hasn't stopped the bombings. Even as they're putting someone to rest, you can see the remnants and the aftermath of what happened in an explosion yesterday. Half the cemetery covered. There's very few places now where people feel safe in South Lebanon. Even the dead aren't left undisturbed, and many of these graves are fresh from attacks in the last few days, as well as where whole generations are buried. Do you have anyone that you know around here?
Grandpa.
Your grandfather?
Grandma. My uncle. My uncle. My uncle. My uncle.
Oh my God. How do you feel about seeing it like this?
It's very painful.
What are you thinking about what's going on here? Too painful to talk about, mostly. These latest bombings have terrified all but the most robust into leaving Deir Hanoun. The town had already seen many residents go. Many more have left over the past few days. Those who stay, like Hussein, do so because they can't plan a future when their past is all here. He's sweeping his relatives' graves, including his wife's. She died last year. Most of the graves are now damaged in some way. He was a paramedic, and his 4 sons are now paramedics, and he worries about their safety.
I have 4 paramedics. This is the youngest one of them. This is my son, and I have 3 others who are also paramedics. They're all married with children, and I check on them constantly.
His youngest was due to be with the crews that ended up being killed. He didn't go only because his father begged him to stay behind.
The second ambulance came and they hit it. It's very clear we're all paramedics and just rescuing civilians. We've got absolutely no weapons and yet they still attack us.
Each time his sons go on emergency calls, he fears they won't come back. His family's already seen its matriarch die, and he's already preparing himself for one or more of his sons being killed.
Some days I don't sleep. I lost my wife. We lived through the last war. And we were displaced and left our home. But the boys stayed here. If one son stays, I don't have too much of a problem. But if 4 of them stay and a strike takes them all, it's a disaster. A disaster.
His family's hurting. The country's hurting. And so far, no one seems able to stop it.